Hi guys, good afternoon. It is the start of another reading vlog. It is Monday and it is 1 p.m. I woke up about a few hours ago. I've just been doing some work, but I'm reading some really fun books this week and I just wanted to vlog it. So the first one I'm reading is an adult fantasy called Holla Smoke. This is a Viking inspired warrior priestess story. It's Viking inspired, right? It doesn't mean that it's about Vikings or about their culture. I don't see it here, so I have to mention that. But I do like the story. I really like how it's going. I'm about like 10 chapters, so that's it. The chapters are very small, so it's only like 60 pages. I just started it, and I mean, look how gorgeous this cover is, right? Oh my goodness. I'm just looking at the viewfinder, but oh wow. Yeah. And then I'm also reading One of Us is Lying by Karen McManus. This is our book club pick for June. Now, again, like I'm about 50 pages into this. This is so boring. I don't like it at all. This is very typical YA drama, like high school drama and boyfriend drama, all that shit. And I got so bored. So instead, I'm going to read this, hopefully within this week. But I started listening to this new thriller that came out called Local Woman Missing. And I watched Mayor of Easttown recently. Just wanted like that sort of small town kidnapping murder story. So yeah, I found this book from Gabby Reed's, like her recommendation. She was reading it and she seemed to like it, so I'm just gonna trust her, and I just started it, and yeah, it's already better than this. So essentially that's what I'll be reading throughout this week. I'm glad you're here. Yes, it is Wednesday morning. I have to go back to work, but I want to give you a reading update on Local Woman Missing, which is the one I've been reading a lot these past few days. I'm about 50% of the way through, and oh my god, I love it. That book, it's such a great recommendation from Gabby Reed. It's everything I wanted from this story, because I told you I was really interested in reading something similar to Mayor of Easttown. And the story, it's fast-paced, it's really easy to read. So the story follows 3 timelines, right? All the same characters, but different timelines. So 11 years ago, when the mother and the daughter disappears. So you follow the story right after they disappear, and the father is looking for them and trying to find them. There's like a search party going on, all of that. And at the same time, there's another woman who has gone missing a few months back. So that's one timeline. And then you follow this other timeline, which is 3 months before they disappear. And then you follow the mother and the daughter and like their normal lives and how they function, whatever it is. Like the mother is a doula. I had no idea such a thing existed. I didn't know, because I'm not pregnant, so I wouldn't know. Like a doula is somebody who gives emotional and physical support to a pregnant woman, especially in labor. Like they'll be walking through the entire process. They're going to be there 24/7 if they have any, like, to care for them. It's like I would say a companion. A doula is basically a companion with professional knowledge on how to deliver safely and how to go through the process in like a healthy way, I think. So you follow her job, you follow the life of this woman who eventually ends up being missing and turns up dead later on. And then you have the daughter. She's really small, so you don't really get to see from her perspective, but she's there, and you see the contrast to how she is, like how she was as a kid and how she is after she was kidnapped. And then you follow present day when the daughter who was kidnapped comes home. She escapes her captors 11 years later, and then she comes home. So following these three timelines, it's such a smart way to write the story, because these are same characters but they are so different in each timeline, and you know why. That's the thing. The best part about it is you understand why. Like Pretty Girls, where they just shove down all these graphic, violent scenes and these tragic backstories down your throat. Unlike that, here they just show you. They're telling the story, and you understand everything, because that's how it should be, right? That's the way you connect to the characters, by showing it, not just telling me that okay, you have a tragic backstory. So there are like multiple scenes in this book which I really like, and the writing it's phenomenal. Like for like a thriller book, it's really good writing, and it's top tier, honestly. So then there's also this other scene so the book starts with the girl Delilah escaping. She escapes her captors. She's running on the street, and she hides in a shed in this house, and she's contemplating whether to go up and knock on the door, right, and ask for help. And as soon as I read the line, I realized that she wouldn't do that. She was captured in a house in the basement for like 11 years. She's not gonna suddenly trust random strangers, right, enough to go up to their house at night, knock on the door and say, please help me. She wouldn't do that. And so that was my initial thought. And then right after that, this next line is her contemplating that same thing, saying that, so just reading it from the book, saying like, I don't know if they're the kind of people who would snatch up children that ain't theirs and keep them. That is exactly true, and that's the way she writes this girl's psyche it's really great. It's very accurate, and she does justice to somebody who has been captured and like suffering from PTSD and just inexplicable trauma. And she does it well. So there's a scene in present day. No, there's a scene like 11 years ago, right after the mother and daughter disappears. The father comes home, tries to find them, and they're not home. So he goes to their neighbors. It's one of their like friends who like lives with her girlfriend, and they seem to be very close to the family, right? So they start like a search party for like all this with like the rest of the people in the neighborhood. And there's one line where the father says that it never occurred to me that they wouldn't be home. I don't know, for me, like that line kind of hit hard, because it shows that it can happen to anybody. Yeah, you don't necessarily need a reason to get captured or to disappear, because there are people who would just snatch kids up with no reason, just solely because they want to. And I've just watched this documentary on Netflix about these like cult leaders and kidnappers and what's it called, serial killers, all that stuff. So one of the things they talked about is that how kidnappers, what they think, and sometimes they don't need a reason. Like there's no way to find these people because you have no connection to them. They could just be legit strangers who just snatch your kid up and keep them locked up for like 20 years, which is so fucked up, right? And also the most tragic scene I've read so far is when she comes home, they tuck her into bed in her own, like in her old room, and in the middle of the night the father wakes up and he's panicking, saying that she's gone, she's not here. She has a little brother, so we follow his perspective, right? And then he notices that the windows haven't been broken, or like the doors haven't been unlocked from the outside, like nobody has come in to take her. And he goes down to the basement and finds her perfectly alright and sleeping on the cold, hard floor of the basement, because that's what she's used to. After sleeping in like a floor for 11 years, she's not gonna suddenly be comfortable sleeping in a bed. And she writes it so well, right? It says, "You passed on a soft, warm bed to come sleep on the cold, hard basement floor in the dark. because for 11 years it's all you've known. In some effed up way, you find comfort in it, being down here in our dark, dingy basement. It doesn't get much more fucked up than that. And that is true. I like it when authors don't try to make this tragic incident into a spectacle, right? Talking about how traumatic it is. Or I've read some books where like it doesn't sound anything other than a page turner, right? But this book is not that. That's what I'm liking about it, and that's why I want to keep reading, because I want to know ultimately what happens in the end. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading, I'm gonna finish this, and I'll get back to you later. Alright, update time. It is Friday. I didn't really read. I did listen to the audiobook for Local Woman Missing, but other than that I didn't really read anything else. And I couldn't update you on it because I was just a little busy. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I love to read a good thriller because I just love that genre so much, and this was a solid read, and I would highly recommend it. But the only thing is I gave it 4 stars is because I feel like the culprit, or like the kidnapper or the murderer, wasn't really well developed or well fleshed out, because I kind of knew who it was from the beginning, which didn't really matter to me because I don't really mind that, knowing who did it, because it's just that after you read so many books, right, it's inevitable that you see the patterns and you'll see the plot coming from a mile away. But that's totally fine for me. I don't really mind that. I don't even really care about spoilers that much, but I do care about how the story is told. I mean, this is not the story that I would have liked, but it's the one the author told, so, and she did it well. But yeah, the only problem is that that character was a little bland and not very fleshed out, and I would have liked to see more of them. So yeah, that's the only reason I gave it 4 stars. Other than that, everything else, like especially the timelines and the pacing of the story clicks so well. Even though you follow 3 timelines, they all kind of snap, and that moment is very satisfying. And also the rest of the characters are pretty great. They are really well written. I really like the families that we follow. I won't go too much into detail about what happens at the end, because there are some like surprising moments. I'm sure you will enjoy going into it without knowing anything about it. So yeah, alright, 1 book done. I think I'm gonna get back to Hall of Smoke. The thing is, right, I might just read it from the beginning, because it's been like a few days and I know what happens, but I don't really remember everything that happened, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, yeah, I know the main events, but I kind of want to read it again so that I can just read it into the weekend. So hopefully I can finish it, and then I would have read 2 books in a week, and hopefully this was entertaining for you guys. Hi guys, it is time to end the vlog. It's Sunday, the end of the reading vlog. I only managed to read Local Woman Missing and finish it, but I did start Hall of Smoke again. But yeah, this time around I actually know what's happening, so hopefully I can talk about this in a next reading vlog, or maybe in my recent reads wrap up. So yeah, until then, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you later.